A quick announcement before the video begins. I just wanted to say that I would love to do more horror-related videos like this, but I don't know how my audience would react to something like that. So I'm going to use music from various horror games throughout the video, and if anyone recognizes them and comments about it, I may be more inclined to do it. Thank you for understanding, and on with the video.
Hey, it's you!
Yeah, listen, I just want to check something.
I get it. You want to learn all about your identity. Who you are.
No, I was more hoping that I was dead.
What? Don't be silly. You don't die for ages.
Aw.
Hello everybody. Horror is a fairly popular genre of videos on the internet. These videos are often made as a labor of love to show the people who are making its creativity. A lot of these videos will give people a form of nostalgia, either because they watched it as they were younger, or because the videos are purposefully made to stimulate something from your past or your childhood. And I believe there is not a single web series out there that fits both of these descriptions more so than Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. For starters, the web series was introduced to us around 11 years ago, back when a lot of children would go onto YouTube without knowing of anything that could possibly go wrong. I, however, was not one of those children, mostly due to the fact that I didn't even have access to the internet at any capacity back then, and even when internet was available to me, the only thing I was ever allowed to do was go on my 3DS's eShop. If I ever wanted to watch something on the internet, it would usually be the Cat Mario skits or random game trailers. Secondly, the whole show is made to resemble a cutesy Sesame Street type of style, which if for some reason you didn't know, Sesame Street is a show for young children to teach some of the more basic things in life, such as the alphabet, numbers, and even some darker things sometimes, such as mental illness and divorce. It is a great show, and I would recommend your young kids to watch that over something like CoComelon or Peppa Pig. Anyways, it pulls this style off perfectly, and full-on presents itself as something you would hastily shove in your kid's face before running off to grab a beer or something. And if you are one of the kids who this exact event happened to you, yeah, I'm sorry for the trauma that happened, because if you would watch a single episode for over a minute, you would find that it becomes insanely dark very quickly. Each one of the videos are very short, mainly being a song about a subject that would normally be taught to young children such as Colors or Time, but the subject is soon perverted in such a way that it loses the main purpose it was trying to convey. Also, gore, that's the main thing that would traumatize young viewers who stumble into it. For the sake of my viewers, whom a lot of are most likely of a younger age, I will be blurring any scenes that feature gore. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a web series that will be remembered by hundreds of thousands, and quite possibly even millions of people. And then, a reawakening occurred. A video was uploaded to the channel simply titled Wakey Wakey, announcing an actual television series for the viral sensation. But then, several months passed, and nothing came out of it. And looking closely and examining the video, you would notice that a lot of it would have to do with politics. Listen, I don't care about politics. I like to hear each person's opinion and respect them as I keep my own. And politics just seem like another thing to get people fighting about stupid things. I use videos and games to escape from this trash, not to be smacked in the face with it. Same with religious denominations. Just another thing to get people up in arms over each other.
Why do they have to leave, Dad?
Because they don't believe in God the right way. We simply can't mix with their kind. It's dangerous.
There's a wrong way to believe in God?
Sure. You know the 21st commandment.
And so that was it. The TV series was apparently cancelled, and now we would never see these characters ever again. Oh, how you will be missed, red guy, duck guy, and yellow, guy. Psych, you thought they were cancelled. No, instead of that, we're gonna ditch the whole politics idea, focusing more on psychological horror, and we'll make the same amount of episodes as the original series, but instead of being about 5 minutes each, we're going to tell their stories at a whopping 22 minutes each. The only problem being that it only aired in a local channel in the UK.
See this? I'm American.
But people have uploaded the series to YouTube, so I was able to watch it and make this video.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate!
And with that long intro that is probably longer than most of my videos out of the way, Let me show you everything there is to know about the new Don't Hug Me I'm Scared TV series. The first episode starts up with the trio wondering what they should do today. They check the schedule only to show nothing is planned for today, which Red is okay with, and Duck thinks that it's too dull to not do anything. All of a sudden, a briefcase is shown to have been sitting at the table and says he needs to get to his job. The others ask what that is, so they have a song about jobs, which, by the way, is normal for the series, so expect a song for practically every episode. At the end of the song, they all arrive at their new workplace as the briefcase disappears into thin air. Red hears a phone ringing with nobody to answer it, so he goes in to check it himself. Yellow goes over to someone making bits and parts and starts working making them himself. Duck tries making a part only to make an abomination of humanity.
Let me go.
What?
Oh dear.
Duck is then sent over to someone named Duncan to help with a website. Duncan is shown drawing on the screen of his PC and is presumably mentally challenged. A talking wet floor sign tells them to be cautious because an accident in the workplace happens a lot more than you would think. Red is shown in the room with the telephone and is shown to be doing a pretty good job at answering it. Everyone except for Red go to eat lunch from the vending machine, and Duck, who is the one who wanted a job in the first place, is shown to not really be having a good time at the workplace. And when Duck goes to get his lunch, he is told that he doesn't have a lunch token, so he must get his meal from the free vending machine, which is just something gathering disgusting muck from the area. Red has apparently been doing so good at what he's doing, he becomes the boss of the company. Duck goes to see him and they get into an argument and he gets fired. As Duck is on his way out, he gets a second chance at his job by meeting the Carehound, which sounds nice until you see this monstrosity. The Carehound attacks Duck, which makes him want to go back to work for some reason. When he gets back, he gets to see that somehow time has passed by 40 years all the way to Yellow's retirement party. Duck becomes frightened by this and ends up throwing Yellow's retirement card in the conveyor belt. Yellow is elderly now and doesn't really think straight before reaching into the machine to grab his card, causing an accident where his arm is torn off by the machine. Everyone freaks out and has no idea what to do, so Duck runs over to grab a first aid kit, only for it to be the briefcase guy from the beginning. Everything goes back to normal, leaving the trio confused about what just happened. Episode 2 starts out with Duck Guy announcing his death from the newspaper. Red Guy is pretty jealous about this for some reason, and Duck's heart drops out of his body, crawls over to the floorboards, and becomes a coffin. After the song, they all go to Duck's funeral to pay their respects. Duck starts to go back with the crew, but is reminded that he is dead, so he goes back in the hole and the other two go home. Yellow Guy doesn't really understand why Duck Guy couldn't come back with them and starts to get depressed. A little while later, they try to find a new friend and accidentally create a new thing made out of clay.
Claymation.
Hey, don't say that.
Red tries to make the Blob the new member of the trio, and Yellow is very upset by this. We cut back to the coffin and Duck is trying to learn how to be dead. Duck doesn't really understand how to enjoy his resting in peace and just ends up annoying the heck out of him. Red introduces the Blob to the house and they all sit in the same spot in the living room as usual. The Thing asks about the hole that the coffin came from, and it really bothers Yellow until he breaks down in tears. Red starts missing Duck Guy as well and starts turning the Thing into a clone of Duck Guy. Meanwhile, Yellow grabs a shovel and goes over to Duck's grave and attempts to dig him out. By the time Yellow gets back, Red has already turned the clay into a perfect clone of Duck. Everyone agrees they can all live in harmony. They recreate the theme song that usually says the three of us and instead makes it the four of us. Clone Duck changes his mind though about an extra member and hits the real Duck Guy with an axe to make him truly dead, and the episode ends with the clone being the new Duck Guy. This, however, never really gets brought up ever again, so it is essentially like nothing ever happened. Episode 3 begins with Yellow and Red watching a show that is basically a reference to Wallace and Gromit, which is another creative show made in the UK. Duck comes back from their pantry and announces he found a snack bag while he was down there, and goes to share it with everyone, but he can't seem to open the package. These creepy twins show up and tell them that they can't open the bag because it is a family size.
Maybe they can't read, because it looks to me like that's a family pack for a family.
Oh, that's stupid! Really stupid. You dare agree with me?
The twins come to the conclusion that the group should come over to their house to see what a real family looks like. They arrive at the house, which has a real creepy vibe to it, and they sit on the couch for a bit before going over to play a board game together. The twins don't really care for Duck Guy that much, so they send him back home. They do, however, take a liking to Yellow Guy. Red Guy wants to try and find his family, so he goes up to their family tree, who only needs a sample of blood to show him his family. The tree says it only needs a drop, but ends up taking a lot more than that. Yellow seems to be the only one left with the family, and the twins tell him that he's almost a part of the family. They all go to sleep, and then it's shown Red actually got with his family and he isn't really doing good with them. He then falls back into the home with Duck. It cuts back to the family, who have made Yellow their new mummy. They order some takeout food, and the whole family are shown to have these really disturbing monster-like mouths and start primally devouring their meal. Yellow Guy's actual dad comes in and takes Yellow's place in the family for some reason. Yellow leaves, and a splat of blood goes to the wall with screams of terror as he's leaving. All three of the cast are back in the house and consider themselves family enough and finally open the snack bag. The thing is, though, only 2 pieces fall out of it and the episode ends. Episode 4 begins with them pulling out their computer for their once-a-year computer day. The problem is that Yellow can't remember the password. After a few attempts at it, Yellow blames himself for being stupid. The others say he's not stupid, he's just, well, something censored.
Stupid.
Hey, come on. It's not your fault. You're just a...
This summons a worm creature that says Red and Duck are bad friends. He kinda tries to help, but fails miserably and ends up getting berated in the process. Yellow finally remembers what the password is, so they all go online and check their emails. Duck and Red both got one email that they sent to each other, and Yellow just gets really disappointed about his inbox being completely empty, and just shuts down. The worm creature tells the others that he went to the one place that he will always have better friends, which is his own mind. The guys convince the worm to go in and get Yellow out of his mind. It then shows us that he's in this real trippy place that is so sweet you'll probably get a cavity just from watching it. The worm guy tries to get Yellow out, but gets talked to nicely by the brain friends. This doesn't last long, as he kind of makes everyone in Yellow's brain super awkward and uncomfortable and not having a good time at all, until it's just Yellow and the worm that's left. The worm ends up chasing Yellow throughout his mind until Duck pulls the worm out of his head with a needle. You see, they checked the internet and it told them the reason Yellow was broken was because there was a worm inside his brain. Yeah, that definitely explains everything and makes perfect sense.
Oh, that's stupid. Really stupid.
The day goes by and everyone is disappointed that they didn't get much time on the computer. The computer tells them that he is so moved by the power of friendship that he will give them a special glass spherical computer to use anytime they want. They sing a cute little song together, but of course it has to be ruined when Yellow accidentally knocks off the computer, which ends up smashing it, and they all beat each other up as the credits hide what happens behind the scenes as the episode ends. Episode 5 opens up with Duck checking inventory to make sure everything is here. Red is a bit moody and has an urge to travel to new lands. This segues nicely to an elderly train character to show up and teach the trio about transport. He tries to sing his song, but suddenly just dies near the end of it. With him being dead, he is basically a normal car at this point, so Red thinks it would be a good idea to drive the corpse around to see the world. He gets the thing running, and they all go out on the road, but it seems like none of them have ever been outside before. A GPS pops up and starts trying to help Red figure out where they are going.
I'm sorry, that place doesn't exist anymore.
What? What happened to it?
Just shriveled up, I reckon.
Ah ha ha ha, if you get it, you get it. Red gets frustrated with it and throws the GPS out the window, leaving them with no guidance whatsoever out in the middle of nowhere. The two in the back seat eventually get bored, so they each get entertainment on their side. Duck gets a little TV to watch while Yellow is stuck with a mouth, toilet, and cigarette butts. Red tells Yellow that they will be able to have fun with a community of neighbors and friends when they reach their destination. Some time passes and it gets darker outside as things begin to go wrong. The train guy comes back to life temporarily until everything shuts down completely and the cheery outside morphs into a junkyard unexpectedly. The gang is now left stranded out in the middle of nowhere with no place to go. It ends with a lady moving what seems to be the car that got them here, with her saying that no matter what happens, they will always make it back home. Episode 6 begins a bit differently from the rest. Instead of having the normal intro song, it has just the spinning house part with a hand turning a crank for it to operate. This hand is presumably the same hand from the end of the last episode. It then goes to the actual episode, and they are all trying to think of the answer to a crossword puzzle. Yellow Guy's answer is so bad that they end up having to shred the puzzle it was written on. Yellow also struggles with putting the clean plates where they are supposed to go. They are soon greeted by a robot who teaches them about electricity. They soon find out for some reason that Yellow Guy is powered by batteries that have been severely corroded and old. They replace his batteries with the robot's and he gets a whole lot smarter, and it kind of makes the others upset and think he's gone wrong.
No, stop it! That's not what you say! It's you who's gone wrong!
Another mascot guy, as usual, comes into play to do a song, but Yellow Guy just ruins it by telling him how misleading his information is and how simplistic his information is brought about. Yellow goes upstairs to see what's up there and finds a door labeled Big Boy Room and meets bigger versions of Red and Duck Guy. These versions think of themselves as smarter because they can learn 2 whole different subjects at once. Yellow starts noticing some things, showing the film set for the show. The other 2 guys are shown to getting a bit too interested in electricity, causing the whole house to go dark. Yellow Guy is still going up the stairs to go into the bigger boy's room. This room has another 2 versions of Red and Duck who are experimenting electricity on a creature to see if it enjoys it. Yellow continues his stair climb to find an unlabeled room with a normal human woman playing a piano. He walks into this room where you can see many props from different episodes. The woman gives him a strange book after helping her organize a bit. This book is apparently extremely important and he needs to show it to the others, but before he can, Duck Guy rushes him and takes out his batteries so the house can be lit back up. When everything settles down, Yellow Guy can't think of what to say and just shreds the really important book as the camera pans out and ends the season. And that is the end of the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared television series. So how does it compare to the original? Well, I think it is one of the best adaptations to television in a long while. The original series would basically be one song and end each episode like that, while this one keeps the songs but adds full stories to pad out the time. Although I do feel like the horror aspect kind of dropped a bit with each passing episode. In the end, they are both very creative shows made by very creative people, and you should really check them out if you're into this kind of thing. And with that, this video is done, and it is my longest video I've ever made, and it isn't really what my main audience looks forward to, so I'm probably going to lose subscribers over this, but hey, I had fun making it, and I should think more about what I am passionate about making instead of worrying about what the algorithm wants me to make. Who knows, maybe this video will do well. Thank you for watching. I am Kayumba, the Kirby Goomba, and I hope you will see me next time. Goodbye.